Juan Mendez Scott's #1 fan. Chapter 1. Debbie. The most horrifying moments of my life were about to begin. I dragged myself into the house from grocery shopping, and I was tired from carrying so many bags from my Range Rover to the kitchen. I was a tall bee-woman, so I had no problem leaning forward against the kitchen counter to put away the groceries. That's when my cell phone rang. "Hello," I said, in a tone that was letting this caller know that I didn't feel like being bothered or interrupted from putting away $500 worth of groceries. "You haven't left my house yet?" this woman asked, almost whispering. "Bitch, are you crazy?" This woman sounded like she was trying to talk and cover her mouth at the same time. It was the weirdest thing I had ever heard over the phone. My mouth dropped and I frowned, trying to recognize the voice of the friend that was playing this silly joke on me. I leaned back against the counter and finally spoke. "Excuse me? Who is this? Excuse you? You have the wrong number," I said. I was about to hit the off button on my phone. "No, I don't, Debbie," she said, correcting me. "I don't have the wrong number, I don't think so." Like a statue, I froze, and a chill went over me. This woman knew my name. Of course, my husband was an NBA All-Star for the Washington Wizards, and of course, we tried to keep our personal information out of the newspapers as much as possible. The first thing I thought was maybe she read my name in the newspaper or a tabloid magazine or something. "Who is this, and how did you get this number?" I asked, walking out into the middle of my huge kitchen, struggling to stay calm. "Don't worry about it." "No, I am going to worry about it. What you need to worry about is this woman said, starting to sound sharp with her words. "As Sydney's #1 fan, if you don't move out so that we can be together, I'm going to kill you. Plain and simple as that." As it would figure. One of my husband's crazy NBA groupies, and he had a lot of them. All of them loved Sydney, and they all were his #1 fan. I rolled my eyes and just hung up on her. I sat the phone on the kitchen table and continued putting away the groceries. The phone started ringing again. This time the house phone, and I figured it was this crazy lady calling again. As I put away the groceries, it started eating away at me that this crazy fan somehow got our home number. How did she get it? Of course, we lived in privacy, and I tried to make sure of that. I loved our home. It was perfect for me. Our red-bricked baby mansion with 3 garages sat along with other million-dollar homes on Monterey Circle, with the Tantalon Country Club and golf course practically in our backyard. Swan Creek and one of the lesser-known Fort Washington marinas sat behind the houses across the street from us. The beautifully designed landscaping made our neighborhood look as if we were on a small, elegant island. I remember one day, I was in another room when I overheard my father-in-law telling my mother-in-law that our 6,000-square-foot million-dollar Fort Washington, Maryland home felt like a beautiful woman who was soulless. Sydney was always gone or on the road playing ball, and I was always here by myself, curled up on the couch in the family room with my favorite book of the month, with no TV or music playing, just dead silence with my apple-scented candles burning, the way I liked it. What did they expect? How was the house supposed to feel? At the moment, it felt like Alaska because I had the air blasting. It was August, and the temperature outside was on hell. Sydney and I went to Georgia Tech together. I knew he was going to be a rich pro basketball player, so I sunk my teeth in him right away. I was not going to let him go. I had some love for Sydney, but not enough to spend the rest of my life with him. I loved spending his money more. I never trusted Sydney from the start. He was fucking everything from cheerleaders to other girls from different high schools and colleges, and even a few of my college friends that he thought I didn't know about. But little did he know that I wasn't to be trusted either. Just ask his college teammate Reuben Hewitt, who was tall and always overprotective of me, even though I was Sydney's girl. He loved reading like I loved reading, and he had short, slick, wavy hair and the prettiest hazel-colored eyes, almost the color of my eyes, and we thought that was so cool. I missed him and our many nights in his dorm room. With injuries, he never panned out in the NBA and played pro ball overseas. So, I married Sydney for his money. Then the phone started ringing again and again and again. I tried my best to ignore it, continuing to put away the groceries, but the phone kept ringing. I didn't want to turn the phones off because one of those calls could have been important, so I stomped over to the house phone and answered it. "Look, I said not to call here anymore." "No, you fucking look," this woman shouted, sounding like she was about to come through the phone to kill me. "You got 1 week to move out of there or I'm going to kill you." Sighing in frustration, I turned the ringer off and tossed the phone back onto the kitchen table and went back to putting away the groceries. I turned on the TV in the family room so that I could watch Sydney's press conference about the $100 million contract he had just signed with the Wizards. It was starting to bother me that those crazy NBA groupies had access to our personal information. The first thing that hit me was that this crazy woman might have had our address also. Then I started worrying about this crazy person showing up at our front door to cause us problems. Then it all came to me all of a sudden. Maybe Sydney again had a one-night fling with one of these groupies, and she somehow got our information while his dumb ass was asleep, drunk from drinking vodka all night.